either. I think Dignitas have struggled with their consistency. SMPR, meanwhile, they came through against BDS, so they have to be the favorites if you're just looking at the results. But we're going to see now how much that's going to translate into the bracket, because we just saw BDS at the moment, who are way above EG. And I think Dignitas could be like that as well. I think they might play up to the level of their opposition, and their opposition are tough.
We know that this player right here on your screen is always going to be stepping up to the level. There was questions about Jorius when he started to enter the pro scene last season. Oh, wow. He even managed to just tap the ball onwards to make sure it wasn't available for a shot. I think Jorius has answered a lot of the questions regarding how he would adapt towards the pro scene. He has looked more than just the 1v1 player that a lot of people were trying to maybe make him out to be. And here's another one. Apparently Jack looking for the setup. That's actually missed by Cassio, maybe called off by Chaussette. And maybe the player here with the most approved this season. As he tries to pass it off. Archie can't quite turn it in, but Chaussette, you know, we've bigged him up for so many seasons, and it's getting to the point where now we need some results.
Yeah, you're never going to accept anything other than the best from Chaussette, because he's been the best player in the world for a time and fell way off that in RLCS Season X. I think fall split for Chaussette was pretty poor actually last season, so now we're back in the fall split. Is he going to be able to continue that spring split form from last season, which was much more to the level we expect from him, and probably the reason why SMPR have signed him? I expect big things from Chaussette, and nothing else will suffice.
Both teams, brand new players that have got a lot to answer for this season. Only one of those brand new pickups is going to be happy. Archie looks to keep the pressure on. Jack's a little bit mispositioned. Double commit. Scrub Killer's out of position. Chaussette couldn't turn it in. And then Cassio, with use of the post, is going to give his team that 1-0 advantage.
Yeah, another pretty nerve-wracking play for Dignitas. It wasn't just Scrub, though. He did miss the initial challenge with Chaussette. I think both players trying to read each other, and both ended up missing as they played for blocks. But afterwards, we see a double commit from Jorius and Jack. Jorius the one jumping over his teammate there. Scrub not ready to quickly follow up on the 50-50. Not the start that Dignitas wanted, but if it's that easy to score... Oh, another one almost goes in. Scrub with a diving save. SMPR probably felt like they're going to need to get more of an outplay-focused goal against Dignitas, who are so known for their solo plays, not just in offense, but in defense.
Well, so far, Dignitas struggling to find the positioning defensively to make their lives easy. This is where they should roughly be quite good. The transition game on all three players, so good, just individually, let alone when they start passing it off to each other. Archie looking to find a tough angle. Everyone already positioned well, straight towards the net. Scrub Killer palms it off over to Jack, who's not quick enough, and Jorius has to pop it up. Teammate clattering into him. That's almost turned in. Here comes the follow from Archie. Called off Chaussette, and Jorius wants the challenge. He'll wait for it, and he gets a decent one against Chaussette.
Yeah, it's really smart play there by Jorius. The 50-50 in defense is a much safer option than looking for an outplay. It's also almost a guaranteed way to get one more player from SMPR out of the games. It's so hard to play a 50-50 and then still have control of the ball if you're the player who's making the challenge, forcing the volatility in the play. Dignitas finally breaking out of defense, and a big chance. Then a goal for Jack. Scrubs lobbed it up to him, and just like that, Dignitas are level.
I think Dignitas might have just set a record for the least amount of time in their opponent's half versus the amount of goals scored. That was almost nothing at all. They have been soaking up pressure throughout the entirety of this game, and then they finally get their opportunity, and they do make it count. What a passing play that was. But Dignitas will not want to be forced into that sort of situation again, especially not against players that are just this lethal over on SMPR. Now holding onto the midfield better. Dignitas putting the pressure on. Jorius with Jack in the middle. Jorius looks to try and get himself. That first touch, though, did let him down, but he still keeps the pressure going. Wow. What a block by Jorius, and Jack can slot it in.
Again, it's the 50-50 game. Jorius is baiting in players here. He actually gets the 2-for-1. Big misplay by Cassio to join his teammate in the challenge that was already established. I mean, even Archie in the corner there waiting for a boost to respawn. That's probably the worst defensive play we've seen all game, and Dignitas were looking pretty jumpy early on in this one. But they've leveled out. They've had a couple of pre-jump saves. Now Jorius with the 50-50 game, really controlling SMPR.
Jorius, standout yesterday. He's continued that form today, but
wow,
you can't afford to let Chaussette just have it for a freebie. Johnny, what has happened over the corner? I think Jack just misread it.
Yeah, Jack didn't expect the ball to bounce up like this, and he didn't have the best position to deal with a bouncing ball anyway. Kind of slide onto the play in no man's land. But for Chaussette to read that after jumping off the sidewall is still very impressive. That's a tough finish. Goalkeeper was in the net, but he managed to sneak it in the near post past him. Once again, we're seeing Jarius and now Jack as well. Controlling those 50-50s. They're drawing SMPR into the forward corners here. SMPR do want to be careful. They're committing so many bodies to 50-50s in the offensive corner. This is generally a position that favors the defense, but they've got a decent bounce here. Chaussette misses.
Oh, great outplay from Jack. That's going to give a little bit of breathing room for his team. And then Jarius crashing his way through. He's going to see the orange side of the field for a brief moment. And now we go to the other side instantly. Chaussette backs away from the potential shot. One of the rare times that we've seen a cross-map clear from Dignitas, but that one was definitely needed. Now the infield, not available. Cassio far too quick. 40 seconds left. Oh, that's not a good touch at all. Cassio will take that every day.
Oh yeah, Jarius has just made this even worse. The ball wasn't in that dangerous of a position. Jarius kicks it out into the middle, and there's no way that Jack can save the following shot from Cassio, who struck the top corner well. Yeah, Jarius just panicked there. He should have let the ball roll through to his third man. Jack was in position. He could have challenged this if the bounce just went normally into the box. Big throw there by Dig. Now trailing with less than 30 seconds to go.
Well, hopefully no one out there has got the double commit counter going, because there's been quite a few in game number 1. Coach talking between games will probably be quite simple. Stop doing that will be the main shout. If you're going to do it, at least make sure you win the ball. Another good block. Archie, he's not going to see it go instantly in. It's also a very awkward bounce. We've been through those. We all know just how horrible they can be. Unless Dignitas can recollect the ball soon, and they're not currently near it. Oh, self-challenge. Jack took it off from Scrub. They try to keep the ball in the air, and SMPR have won a scrappy game 1.
Yeah, nervous display in defense by both teams, but they are constantly under pressure here. So in a lot of these positions where double commits are occurring, where complete whiffs are occurring, even that play at the end there by Jarius, where he's just had to react to the ball coming at him pretty quickly. These are forced misplays, and misplays nonetheless. I do expect more from these teams as they settle into the series and settle into the competition today. But definitely, it's just all about putting the pressure on the opponents in these tight-knit scenarios. Very careless there by SMPR with the double commit. That was like a slow motion double commit. Very surprised to see that one. Yeah, Jarius just had to have faith in Jack. He needed to know that Jack's got his back there. Just let the ball roll through to your third man. You're in a 2-2 position. Kicking the ball out into the middle like this is, maybe a back pass is what he's attempting. Maybe he thinks Jack's closer to him. Far too risky.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at a game like that, obviously we're expecting teams like this to really, start easing their way in, because we already heard Extra say about how, experience can be such a big deal. Well, these players are experienced. There's not a single player we're looking at just going, okay, well, they've just got to get used to this entire environment. It's just getting rid of some of that, off-season rust, jump your way in and get yourself ready for the rest of this at best of 7. But I'm looking at the field right now. Overall, not like incredibly solid either side. There were definitely double commits, but in terms of Chaussette's probably the player I've got my, the eye on right now. He's the one I want to see how he's settling in the most. He looked fine. He looked comfortable. That was not comfortable whatsoever.
Well, with how precise Jack is with his touches, I trust him that he meant to hit this off the post, but that is so risky given the fact that we just saw so many mistakes in game 1, so many narrow misses, so many, decisions just being made wrong in split seconds. Jack now in a very awkward position, had to wait quite a while before realizing Chaussette had faked this. Nervous start for both teams, but rightfully so. So much expectation on the shoulders of Dignitas, who are a new roster and relatively new to the scene if we're talking about Jack and Jarius at high level 3v3.
All of these players want to win the European Open. Archie, can he win the race? Jarius will get a block, and apparently Jack's still hunting down for Cassio, so this gives Dignitas a great opportunity. Chaussette covers well, at least temporarily, and the demo on Jarius ruins the offensive rotation. Dignitas, they had a chance there, but look at a different way of trying to clean up the mess.
So it looks like at the moment Jack is the one who's trying to sit a bit deeper compared to the first game. Might have made the call to take that role upon himself. Another miss from Scrub. That was, should have been contact. It's a tough one, but something you'd expect Scrub to get a piece of. Yeah, definitely no step up defensively as of yet, as another jump from Scrub misses the target. He is so nervous at the moment, visibly. He said it yesterday himself, that he was, really trying to settle down for today's games. So far, it hasn't worked out for him. They are only trailing by 1 game and remain level in game 2. SMPR, with the shooting that we saw from them in the first game, though, are bound to score one of these opportunities. Dignitas keep giving them. Oh, that's almost in, and Archie just knocks it into the bar. Low shot there from Jarius after the reset, but it was saved. Although it looked a bit harder than I think it should have.
Yeah, I think Archie was just a little bit too far forward. He was off the goal line. And when you've got someone like Jarius coming towards you, I mean, the first instincts just be, all right, I'm all the way in my net.
Oh, yeah, get in the net.
Yeah. Yes. Sit here, make sure you can't have the ball go over the top of you, and, you know, force them maybe to try and go for the demo play. But they have got away with that one, and that'll be a lesson learned for next time. As Archie back to the corner. It's been the main play zone for both teams so far, and that's why it's in a very good area to just make a bit of space. Now, back into the midfield shot set. There's no chance. And actually, Cassio bumped into the clear.
Man, Scrubkiller has really got to, you know, take words out of his own advice. He's got to stay calm here. He's got to stay calm. He is all over the place at the moment. It's gone from bad to worse in game 2. You know, game 1 was jumpy. Now he's just he's in his own world. Is he seeing 2 balls bouncing around the field right now? He just has to take some deep breaths and try and get some contact. Yeah, that, you know, it doesn't end up being too bad for Dignitas, but it's still another one on his tally of whiffs, which is getting to quite a large number. Key touch at the near post there, though, by Scrub, as he keeps SMPR at bay for just a moment longer. And, you know, that's the double commit, but it doesn't matter for Dignitas. They're landing in different positions. They've got boost to recover. These things are okay. It's the ones where they're landing out in the midfield, floating in the middle of nowhere, that I'm worried about. And there's another one. Scrub just off into no man's land. And it's SMPR who are piling on the pressure once again.
It just looks like Scrub is being outpaced a little bit here, but now they've got Jarius chasing down shots. Well played! Avoids everything and still gets the block. Still offensive plays coming out. Apparently Jack doesn't have the follow-up after his bump. Shot set of the 2 players looking to settle in. Looking phenomenal at the moment.
Yeah, that was
Scrub will be the last player back.
Just that dodging the demo, getting the save, even catching the ball on the backboard afterwards. He really just did it all there, doing the job of 3 players while he got left alone in defense. Giving Archie and Cassio so much freedom to just attack and pile the pressure on Dignitas, who are still somehow in a tie game. That could have been got a goal, though. Scrub again. Just unable to advance onto the play. Jack's here to rescue him, but the midfield absolutely belongs to SMPR at the moment.
Clear from Jack. He's got Scrubkiller up in support, who misses it first time, collects it second time, shoots on the third. And Chaussette will read that one coming. Still, not the best play from Archie. Almost gave the infield pass over to Jack. Scrub back to the wall, where Cassio will await it. Like that. Pass over to Jack, who does get there just in time. 2 players up, Jarius and Jack. Scrub will hold the midfield. And the scoreless game in the regular time might very well require golden goal. Although we have got 1 shot off the backboard. Jarius to win it! What? Oh, and it hits the crossbar, bounces down. We have got overtime.
Wow. Dignitas just millimeters away from stealing the game. They should not be the team winning this one based on regulation time performance, but that was almost the goal, and it was definitely the best chance of the game. Here's another one. Jarius has just out a boost and he scores. Dignitas tied the series. What an absolute mess this was from start to finish, but it's another double commit for no reason. Chaussette out of boost, trips on the goalpost.
No
defense.
Had boost.
Oh, he had boost?
He had 70.
What? You're joking.
Just got it wrong.
He had 70 boost. What is he doing? Driving out into the corner. Oh my goodness.
I don't know if he was like picking up like the 12s around, but either way, like there was not enough 12s there to throw him up to 70 that quick. Like,
wow.
I don't know what happened, but not the right things. And we've got ourselves a tied series. How on earth have Dignitas won that one?
I mean, that just doesn't make sense. That baffles me that Chaussette has boost, because usually...
We've got to see it again. We will get a chance to see it again. So I'm going to keep my eye. Everyone at home, keep your eye top right corner.
Oh, I trust you. I trust you on this one.
He's got plenty.
Wow. I mean, that is just a massive misplay. His teammates haven't done him a favor by double committing on the world's worst clear, where it's just rolling down the middle. Rule number 1 of clearing the ball in 3v3, don't hit it down the middle. That's the easiest place for a follow-up shot to come from. Get it to the side, get it to a difficult shooting angle. But still, Why was Chaussette in the corner? Why has he put himself in an awkward position where he's tripping on the goalpost to try and get back and cover the net? He could have just waited. It really does, leave a lot of question marks defensively for SMPR as well as Dig.
I appreciate that you believed in me, because even as I was saying it, I needed to see it again, because I was like, surely I'm not right. I saw it with my own eyes, but there's no way that was actually how that play went down.
Yeah.
But it is, and both teams will know that they can play better than this at the moment, and that this series is up for grabs, as we do see shot well saved by Cassio. It's been messy so far, and whichever team can clean it up quicker in prime position to try and take this series. And the best news for both teams will be there's a 24-hour break. You win this, you come back tomorrow, you take on BDS, but at least you've got some time between the matches.
Well, it's one of those situations where neither of these teams will be expecting missed hits. Neither team will be expecting double commits necessarily. This is confusing to play against. When your opponents make mistakes like this that are not characteristic of them or play at this level in general, you're not really ready for it a lot of the time. So many mistakes going unpunished. And, so many double commits going unpunished. So many whiffs going unpunished. That's not a surprise in and of itself. It's more the fact that they're happening at this rate is surprising. But yeah, adapting to be ready for that is a really difficult thing to be prepared for. Because we're surprised. We have the bird's eye view on these plays. Imagine with all the pressure playing in this match, and it's so important to get top 4, you're not just going to want to go and read a miss hit when it's so risky to do so. So I can understand why both teams are having a hard time with this one.
It's reading the play rather than the name. If you look at someone like Chaussette, apparently Jack, anyone on this field, and say, oh yeah, this player's going to miss the ball. No, they're not. I'm going to prepare for the actual hit, all right? You're completely trying to fool me with that one, as Jack will wipe out one of the goalkeepers. Unfortunately for him, Cassio is the one in control of the ball. Not in control much longer, though, and if that was... Oh!
What?
Oh, no, Archie.
Oh, he didn't know. He just respawned. He can't tell from his position whether that's in or not. He pre-flips to try and save it, and I think it was in the post. He's just knocked that into his own net. But yeah, he just got demoed. That's him on the respawn from his angle. It's impossible to tell for sure whether or not that's hitting the post and going in or hitting the post and going out, and he just guessed wrong.
Wow. I don't know what else to say. This has been one of those series so far. Chaussette leaving it. Up goes his teammate. Finally, a free shot, and it's right in towards Scrubkiller's car. I think both teams will be frustrated right now, but the one team that'll be more frustrated is going to be SMPR. They're looking at Luke potentially losing a second game in a row. That one's too high. There will be no follow-up from Jack. He does the right thing. Just makes it look like he might move forward for a little while, force the long clear, and already on his way back, Scrubkiller is just... Oh, that's better! That's what we want to see at this level.
What a mind game by Scrubkiller. Landing on the ball, really slowing it down as well, faking a high shot after the reset, and instead hits him with the floor pinch. That's the straight-up 1v2 outplay. And this is what we expect from Dignitas. We know that they've all got ridiculous solo play potential. This is why if they went and won this event, we wouldn't be surprised. But they've conceded already. Bit of a slow rotation back after the kickoff here. A nice demo there by Cassio, taking away Abjack's only support in Scrubkiller and keeping it a 1-goal game. And immediately shutting down that momentum that Scrub just got, which was huge for Dignitas.
Cassio did everything right. Took out a player, made sure that he didn't go underneath the shot or even engage in a challenge where the ball maybe could pinch out away. Just kept it nice and controlled. Oh, what a save, Chaussette. Even controlling the ball away from the net for the time being. Gives his team time just to get away, but only temporarily, Archie. What a save again. Okay, looks like we're starting to wake up here over on DFH Stadium.
Yeah, it's the old faithful, the OG esports map for Rocket League, maybe getting these players to feel a bit more comfortable. But, even now, so many early commits and so many early attempts at interceptions. Another one there from Scrub. He's advanced pretty far forward, has a difficult flight to intercept the ball just because of the way he's positioned himself. Is that actually through here? No, Chaussette's going to cut him off. Some clutch saves for SMPR keeping them in this. But Dignitas have got midfield control. This is a big swing, a big change from game 1, even game 2, where it was all SMPR in the midfield.
What support has Jack got? Will even need it. least going to put some temporary pressure on. Couldn't find the block. That's what players like Jack will do so well. Chaussette takes the ball over from his teammate. Drop down. Here's Cassio. Sets up with the first one. Looks to just bounce the ball back into the midfield. His teammate is already on their way back. As SMPR still looking for one more goal. Otherwise, they are going to have half the games gone against them. Jorius loses the challenge. Cassio not have enough boost to really follow that one up, but that's straight over to Archie. Hit the ceiling. That's going to take a lot of the Sears out of that clear. And this should be a position where theoretically Dignitas should be great. They only need to send one player, and all three of them should always be able to take at least a challenge.
Well, you see, Appjack is doing a really good job making sure to be relevant in every single defensive play that Dignitas have to make now. He clearly, Jory is with the own pass in the end of the first game. Oh, here's another chance for Scrub. Doesn't get around it. He didn't have quite enough boost to angle that shot on target. Yeah, I'm loving Appjack's consistency in defense. He looks like the most confident player coming forward, and Scrub and Jory is controlling the attack at the moment. They've had a much bigger impact in the forward half than they did in games 1 and 2, and now all they need to do is score into the ground. Archie gonna try and keep it up. Can't get it over the top of Jorius. Chaussette can. There's a full team commit. Can Chaussette keep this in the air? It's not gonna happen. Dignitas get 2 games in a row, and unlike game 2, this one felt like a deserved victory.
This one definitely felt like, both teams started to settle into it just that little bit more, which is fantastic to see. But Dignitas are obviously the happier of the 2 teams. They've got that win. More importantly, it looked like Scrub settled a lot more. Like, he knew what his role was in that team. Maybe the pace of the game was a little bit more to his liking because he was everywhere this time around. And whilst he was everywhere in the last game, at least he was relevant, as we are going to get our first timeout of the series. SMPR going to burn theirs and look to see if they can find some answers.
Yeah, I might be picking the wrong clip to really read into here, but if any of you did get a chance to tune into Archie's perspective of their crazy goal line defense yesterday, you'll hear that the comms were pretty chaotic from SMPR. A lot of information being fired in, especially Cassio. He communicates a lot of info to this team, and it looks like they're heavily relying on that information to make defensive decisions. It looks like everybody's just calling, I've got it, and somebody else says they've got it at the same time. 2 players go. Are things getting lost in the comms here for SMPR? Perhaps. That's why sometimes you just have to rely on instinct, especially in 3v3, where it's such a fast-paced game. A pinch or a 50-50 can suddenly completely change the direction the game is going in, and you need to rely on instinct more than ever with the current threes meta. SMPR might be trying to just calm it down here. We talked about Scrub and Dignitas trying to do that earlier on, but I mean, they're all laughed.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks like Scrub is.
It looks like they're aware. Yeah, they know. I mean, Scrub will know. He's got the experience. He knows that he's had a terrible start to the day here. He was all over the place in game 2. Couldn't hit the ball. Couldn't find boost anywhere. But it looks like they're just able to roll with that anyway. And I mean, Jory is literally an octane there. What more can you ask for?
I mean, that's when you know that you're, in the game, quite literally. You are making sure that you are ready to go. Gotta say, that was a very blue room we saw just a moment ago. That was...
It was.
That would be distracting to me, I've got to say. But
wow.
Maybe it's the mood lighting that really, focuses you. I know on my phone, on my apps, it's got a little bit of thing that just says energy on it. It's like an energy mode. You go to that one where you're supposed to feel all pumped up. Maybe it's all blue that makes him just zoned in, ready to play. But we will see how that timeout is going to affect, because reminder, both teams got to talk during that. I mean, Dignitas still had things to fix. They would have used that 1 minute to try and figure it out. And more importantly, Dignitas have got the opportunity to hold on to that. So don't expect to see Dignitas really burn that until maybe up against match point, if they even reach that.
Yeah. I can almost guarantee you that Dignitas are laughing at the fact that they probably can't believe that they're winning 2-1 at the moment with how they played in the first 2 games of this series, but they are winning 2-1. SMPR had a couple of mistakes earlier as well, but it's interesting to note that when Dignitas put some great shots on net at the end of game number 3 there, they were saved. When good plays are happening, SMPR actually have a better chance of reading them, because that's what they expect to happen. You don't expect a slow shot. You don't expect a miss. You expect a rifle to the top corner. And when those two shots came through, Chaussette saved one, Archie saved one. You know, if Dignitas do step up and start playing more like what we're used to seeing from them, I think SMPR will actually have an easier time reading that than the game 1 and 2 did.
It's amazing how if you wanted to describe Dignitas' greatest strengths and greatest weakness throughout this series, it would actually be the same sentence, which is when players are around, the ball is saved. But when players are around, you know, half the time they've just been double committing, not being able to really land in the right spot. This has been much better though. Oh, as you mentioned earlier, Joey, the double commits aren't the worst thing ever. And Jorius,
wow.
Well, that was acrobatic and it did work.
Yeah, phenomenal recovery there by Jorius. He was the only man back briefly as the two teammates had to loop back to net. Oh, that's just bounced through. How has this gone through the Dignitas defense in slow motion? Well, we're about to find out, but Cassio assisting himself for this one. Oh, Jorius is just in reverse here. I mean, we're just starting to sing their praises and they've done it again, Shogun. It's game 1 and 2, Dig. They're back. It's not looking good for them all over again.
I mentioned this earlier. Every time we popped into the Dig stream yesterday, Gibbs was just having a go. Even when this team was 2-0 up over on the Dignitas stream, he was just going, having a go. Maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe you just have to be negative towards Dig, and they will play better.
I mean, I like some of the things we've been doing. You know, I love the 50-50s in defense, and I think Abjack has looked pretty consistent for most of this, despite Jorius and Scrub ending up in weird positions for a lot of the time. But, you know, SMPR have capitalized every time. That's another good shot and well saved by Archie to the side of the box. And now maybe a chance to solo play. Jorius just getting to the ball before he did. You know, full credit to SMPR. They have taken their chances, and these are difficult plays to read. How did Cassio know that was just going to bounce off the wall and come back to him? I'm not sure. It shouldn't be happening at this level. He still saw it coming.
Archie wanted to try and set up Cassio, but one, the pass wasn't very good, and Cassio was also being bumped in the midfield. Expect that to become more and more prevalent as this Dignitas roster gets used to each other. All players that are very good at just honing in on which player they went off the field. Archie to Cassio. Good block again by Jack and looking to break away. Shots that he does find the one gap actually with a player just diving on him. He was all fine with it. Now looks to set up Cassio. He's going to back down. Archie almost caught out of position. They managed to just turn the car around just in time. Scrub midfield to Jorius, who wants to go straight for net. Not enough on that one to even trouble Cassio.
Yeah, Jorius probably wanted to pass that one back, but the ball was slightly too far forward, so he kind of needed to shoot, or else he would be taking all of the power off the play. Abjack playing that right over the keeper's head. He's trying to force a bad touch in defense there, but SMPR have dealt with it very well. They're able to transition into attack. And Dignitas queuing up at this near post area, waiting for the ball to come across before making a move. Archie trying something extravagant of his own, but even he can't get on the opposite side of the ball here. Jorius tries for another back pass, but it looks more like a center ball when he keeps doing this. This one, Jack did reach. Now Jorius off the bar, down and out. That's a horrible bounce for Dignitas. Chaussette on the counter now for SMPR. Has an option in the middle. Archie not able to reach it. Both teams almost putting together some great plays there.
Now Jack with the reset. Good save. Just over the top of the bar. Scrub Killer just buying his team a little bit of time. Take it to the corner, get everyone back with boost. There's apparently Jack, one touch, two touch, three touch, four touch. Quadruple touch is not even enough. Apparently Jack with potentially goal of the tournament.
Okay, Jack with, I think 5 or, I mean, if we count that last one, it's literally pinching it off the post. It's more like 6 touches, but 4 clean touches on the ball before he just crushes it in off the post and the crossbar at the same time. Pure perfection from Jack. What a play. And you don't read those, even if you do expect the most out of your opponent. Dig back in a tie game. And they're in attack again. Here's Jack. Goes for placement over power. Chaussette is there to clear it. Archie runs out of boost before connecting with the ball.
Chasing it down. Cassio back to the corner. That midfield support just hasn't been utilized just yet. It's been very difficult in the last few games to play the ball in Dignitas' corner. Apparently Jack, he goes straight for net again. Jack has definitely started to feel his rhythm in this game. Yeah. And you're seeing just how lethal he can be.
I think Jack is actually having overall a pretty great series here. There's not been perfect on either team for any of the players in this lobby, but Jack is definitely making plays, and it's not just the flashy plays, the likes of which we just saw. He is backing up his teammates and enabling them to play aggressive. Now here's Jack. He gets the goal with 15 seconds left. I thought this was going to be cleared, but it's ended up in the back of the net. What a heartbreaker for SMPR. Archie missed it as it came across him at the near post. And you can't afford to make mistakes like that. Dignitas ahead with 15 seconds left.
And not for the first time, SMPR caught out by that corner. It has been a constant threat for them, almost in by Jack for the hat trick. And now Chaussette over to Archie. They're going to have to keep this play going. They're going to need to keep possession. Over to apparently Jack. They've got to take that one off him. Easier said than done. Archie all the way back down and can't find the block. Cassio sees the ball go whizzing past him. And Dignitas are on match point.
What a comeback, and that is all apparently Jack. Ridiculous solo goal to get them back in this game with the equalizer, and then scoring the finisher as well. Just having faith that it looked awkward enough for Archie that, you know, maybe the ball's going to come across the box. It's hard to continue in those positions because your brain is telling you, no, the goalkeeper must have that. He's got to be making a touch. Jack just ignores that. He knows there's no point being in that position unless he's going to go for the ball anyway. And that's exactly what he did. He just went for it, gets the goal. Dignitas to lead 3-1. As SMPR have just fallen apart here at the end of this one. Archie, I think, with a couple of misses on the ball, but they were awkward positions. So it's not the likes of what we saw earlier in the series where whiffs are happening in positions where it looks easy. No, these were awkward plays. You don't like to be at the near post with the ball above you because you can't see anything. You can't see where the opponents are. You can't see if any teammates are making a play on it. It is tough, but that's the sort of play you expect SMPR to be able to make every time, and they've let themselves down here.
I feel like there's 2 times that you can get caught out in these sort of things, especially in our position as commentators. One of them you don't want to see is things like that Chaussette boost misplay that we got over in game 2. I don't like those ones. I do like, however, being caught out by a 6-touch backboard control. I don't know how to describe that really as to how it went in. Either way, it is the difference maker, and apparently Jack has been the difference maker between these 2 teams. Here we go. Next game up, SMPR. Can they right the ship, or are they on their way out? And will BDS be taking on Dignitas tomorrow?
Even before Jack stepped up with the massive solo goal there, I don't know, like you said, I don't know how many touches we're going to credit him for there, but let's just say it was a lot.
Somebody go and take a look if you want a right answer. We'll let you know.
It was too many. Leave some for the rest of us, Jack. But even before then, I really liked the way that he was positioning in defense. I think that he looked a lot more comfortable. He just ended up being on the right side of the ball more often than his teammates, who still, for my liking, are not in this game fully. Scrub and Jorias, they keep on just ending up slightly in the wrong place when the ball comes towards them. And they're trying to recover with their mechanics, but it's a lot easier if you just put yourself in the right position. Then you don't really need to make a big mechanical play. Cassio's trying to make one now. Scrub, really well done there. Waits for Cassio to go past him. Is wary of the potential bump, and then chips it over the incoming attacker as well.
If we're talking about how Jack has probably been the standout performer over on Dignitas, I'd kind of give it to Cassio over SMPR. He's not really done much wrong. He's definitely been in the right positions, and he needs somebody to follow him up from that one. Instead, right back to the midfield. Archie over the top of 1, gets it past 2. And Jorius, half volley, but does hit the ceiling. That's not going to get the clearance that he was after. Oh, Jack fakes out Archie, and that's a good way of getting yourself a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, Jack, an expert at creating space. Little feints and little moves here. Oh, that's a great save by Jack as well. Someone's missed at the near post, but he was able to predict that. And again, just cover his teammate. Just in case the ball goes past him. Continuing to put in work and keep Dignitas in this. SMPR, for the majority of the series, have been the team with the more territory. They've been pressuring Dignitas. Here's a ball coming across again. I think Jack had most of the net covered. Scrub's got the follow-up shot in the bag, and he does flip onto the boost to continue clearing this one. Not far though, straight to Cassio, and it was just wide. SMPR side to side here, stealing as many boosts as they can. And now another shot comes in. Scrub with a double tap save off the inside of the post. Huge play by Scrub, bouncing back from, disasters earlier on in the series. Looking a lot better at the business end.
Archie, booming clear. It's going to leave it for Jorius. He'll not want to hit the ceiling this time, and that's a little bit better, just scuffing it towards the top. Now the infield pass, back over to Jack. Great 1-2. Now he looks for the outplays. Dignitas looking more and more solid as this series has gone along. One thing I do want to see change there actually from SMPR is they've had a lot of times where the ball has just been bouncing away from the Dignitas goal. And if anyone was there to follow up, it would have been in. But I feel like they're coming in from very wide angles a lot of times. Gives the ball's going away from them, just not quite able to get there in time. They do need to adapt a little bit to the chances they've been getting.
Yeah, they don't seem like they want to slow down the play at all. And you know, that might be because Dignitas are so well known for their 50-50 game, their challenge game on the ground. SMPR trying to just beat them to the ball with pace, and that is one way to do it. Archie just denied by the underside of the crossbar from distance. He placed that well. Needed to be fast, it needed to be high. Now Cassio's pre-jump wayward. Archie waiting for the bounce. Doesn't even dodge into it. That's confidence from the Englishman. That's Dignitas with a bit more breathing room now. Scrub wants the double. He's trying to catch up to it, unable to do so.
Oh, and Archie's going to continue with it. Very brave to let Scrub let that one drop down after what he did earlier to them. This time they will get away. 1 minute left. Still no goals scored. Archie well weighted. He's got the ball back. Can he get the pinch? Oh, Chaussette. Already on his way over. That's going to leave Cassio as the only person back. And you can already see apparently Jack's looking for him. Lost the half rotation from Archie. Chaussette's already going for it. Almost found the angle. There's the follow. That's what SMPR have been missing.
Huge play by Chaussette. Just almost scored it himself, but putting it in a place that Archie could follow up on. And although Abjack got a piece of it, it wasn't enough. It was, I think, Jordy is advancing too far forward as third man that got Dignitas in this mess. And no one is there to save him. 52 seconds left for Dignitas to right the ship.
Off the backboard, Jack. He's so good at making you think that he's got it wrong. He's just, nah. Just wipe this angle instead. It works better for me. I need a little bit more of that magic as Jarius is gone. Scrub Killer fills in the gap very well. Now the pass off to Archie. Shot way too high. And that second goal could have been very well needed as we head into the final few moments of the game.
Yeah, should have been on target there. Archie hit the crossbar earlier on, but that one was a bit further away from the target. Ham playing defense from Scrub. Baiting in one challenge. Abjack's beating his man to the ball, but Archie sees an opening, and it starts his authority. 10 seconds remaining. SMPR don't want to throw away another lead late in the game. Maybe trying to add to theirs to all but secure it. Jory is, again, just bringing the ball down and 50-50ing it out of defense. Scrub lobs it long. Jory is with another touch on it. Abjack's going to be there, and he's going to hit that target. Wow. Oh my goodness. What's that save by SMPR? Dignitas did such a great job to create a real chance on net at the end of this one. SMPR deny them the 0-second goal.
I mean, you just saw on everyone's cameras. Everyone just sort of jumped back. That was so close. That was so very close. And SMPR, they just saw how close they were to being forced to fight in a one-goal game for their tournament lives. They've managed to get one back. Now they've got to do it 2 more times. But I liked a little bit more. You mentioned earlier in the series, Johnny, how you thought SMPR were maybe sending a little bit too much forward on the offensive plays. I think they over-adapted that. They became like toothless in offense. It was just, hey, I hope you can outplay every single player on Dignitas because we're not going to send any support to you. We're going to just hold everyone in the midfield. This game, it felt like a little bit more of the balance was being found, but they're going to need more of that if they are going to take this series.
Yeah, they're sticking to their game plan. They're sticking to what they know. This is a very aerial-based team. It's a very fast team, very mechanical and very focused on outplays. The way that SMPR plays, I'd say quite similar to your NRGs over in NA, where they don't really have that much of a desire to slow the game down. They just rather focus on pace, even if the team they're up against are quick as well. They back themselves to be faster, and it has paid off here. Dignitas getting tricky with it. Oh, that's a miss on the backboard in 8 seconds. Archie doubles it in. Great recovery there. Archie with the efficiency to get back to the ball. Jory is, not for the first time, key miss in defense.
Continuing the momentum for SMPR. They want to try and get their way into that top 4. Scrub passes it over to Jorius. Would have required quite the play. Try and turn anything out of that. Quick reminder to everyone at home as well. It's Jack. He's going to have that one be a setup. And out of nowhere, Jack ends up becoming a contributor for the other team.
Oh dear. Well, he's tried something a lot trickier than he needed to here, trying to catch the ball with a soft pinching touch to send it up the wall and then retake control. But he's got on the wrong side of it completely and ends up outplaying his teammate in defense. The worst start possible for Dignitas, and they're going from having 3 match points here to now being in a best of 1 to advance to the semi-finals. And we talked about earlier how important these quarterfinals are, especially in Europe, where there's going to be, I think, the most competition for a top 5 out of any region. You need to get these top 4s. You can't just throw away opportunities like this. Dignitas taking the hard road, as they so often do. Appjack looking for the top corner, not going to get it. Cassio had it covered, and I think it was hitting the bar as well.
Oh, now the infield pass over to Chaussette. It's not the most powerful shot. It didn't need to be. The pass had already done all the damage. 3-0.
Oh, man.
And yeah, Dignitas will probably be very happy right now that they are holding on to that timeout, because they might have 5 minutes now to discuss what is going to happen ahead of Champions Field. They are going to need quite the performance to get this one back.
Yeah, Archie's really stepped up huge here. He was in the conversation for top 5 player, in Europe last season, and he was, I think, the main reason why Top Blokes were having such consistent success. Incredible playmaker and incredible creativity. Focusing mostly on fast recoveries to get these outplays, and very efficient movement as well. I'm impressed that Archie has been able to pull out performance like this in a Game 6 while his team's behind.
Cassio on the volley to Archie. These two playing so well. Oh, not the way that he would have wanted to hit that. Thankfully for Archie, it doesn't quite matter as much at the moment as it would have done, I don't know, say a minute and a half ago. I think the task will continue to put the pressure on, but this might be the sort of scoreline where you see the worst habits of Dignitas come out, or you can see the worst case scenario for SMPR. There's one back with plenty of time to work.
Well, Dignitas are going to be willing to take risks, especially now that they're 3-0 down. They're going to play for those awkward passes that might be intercepted, but you need to take those chances if you're down this badly against a team who have been saving ridiculously good shots all series long. Thinking about Archie's save on 0 seconds in the last game as well. You've got to go for half chances against SMPR, especially from that kind of range. Anything but the top corner is not going to be sufficient.
Especially in a series like this where, goals have maybe been a little bit less difficult to get a hold of than you would expect against a team like SMPR. You might as well take those half shots and see, hey, have you guys got another mistake in you?
Well, that was a great chance just moments ago for Appjack. Infield pass straight to him. I think he tried to place it across the goalkeeper to the top corner, and in doing so, just missed. When you're going for those glancing blow touches, it is easier to just miss contact, but I would rather see just Appjack from that kind of range, just fire it, just get as much power on that as possible. Force the pre-jump, force the hard read from SMPR. Will they get any more chances as good as that one? I don't know. And it's actually going to be SMPR who put another one on the board, 4-1.
Yeah, quite simple on this one. Jarius looked to get rid, but he's put it right into Chaussette. Stands his ground and just walks that one into the net with quite a little bit of extra effort. That 3-goal lead is now back over on SMPR. Dignitas. I think I got one answer, though, that I was very curious about, which is when they are up against a situation like this, how were they going to approach it? And they were still going for the team plays, which I am happy to see. They didn't have anyone trying to shoulder all of the responsibility by themselves, so that is going to be good news. But his bad news is, well, the scoreline. As Archie, great play. He's got rid of it. Very difficult to try and hold SMPR back at the moment. Chaussette already going. Good challenge yet again. Has he found another one? No, Scrub away for the time being and going to be there for the second attempt.
SMPR are playing this out really well. I like that they're willing to just keep attacking here, let the clock run down, because Dignitas have not looked too bad in attack, but when you put them on the back foot, they do not look comfortable. Joria's and Scrub's positioning is still suspect. Oftentimes they're advancing too far forward, making life difficult for themselves. And on the other side of the field, I've got to say, I'm very impressed with Chaussette's defense. It was the saves and the positioning in last season's fall split that really let Chaussette down and, forced him to be just a shadow of the player he once was. Today, he's been on the ball. He's, well, actually, I should say he's been great off the ball. He's been moving around into great positions to make life easy for himself. And that's the Chaussette that we all know and love. And it's great to see him slotting into this team as well as he has.
This was a great to see that the mistake earlier on hasn't really plagued him. Since then, he has done a very good job. Even himself, the teammates, the coach, they've just done a fantastic job of getting him to shake that off and need to do what he's supposed to do, as Cassio's going to end up leaving it. 35 seconds left over on Neo Tokyo. Drops down, Scrub Killer makes it a 2-goal game. And here, Johnny, becomes your wheelhouse because Dignitas needs some good kickoffs.
Yeah, do we call this winnable or throwable? I guess winnable is the more positive outlook on this.
It depends on where you are on this. We all know where we are on this one, Johnny.
We want to see a goalkeeper in net for Semper. If they don't have a goalkeeper on this kickoff, I don't know what they're doing. But it will actually be half. It's mostly Dignitas possession here. Try to go for a losing the territorial play towards the back corner. But they had somebody over there to collect it when it came towards them. Not the biggest risk on the kickoff from Dignitas. Not the most creative option that they had. Would have loved to see a demo variation, of course. You know me. But it looks like Semper will have to suffer any late scares in this one. It's been Dignitas with all the last-second plays in this series. But they will have to do it in Game 7 if they're going to advance to the semis. Semper pulling it back.
Yeah, this next match is huge. It's absolutely massive. There is a difference of 50 points between winning this and losing this. There's a difference also of $1,000. I should correct that, actually. No, I was correct. I'm bad at reading. $4,500 if you are getting... I'm good at correcting myself, mate. I'm happy to say when I am wrong. But do you know who will not want to be wrong? Gibbs. He backed Semper in this one, and there's one thing about going against your org. There's another thing about going against your org and being wrong. So Gibbs will definitely hope that maybe he's going to get this one right. But for us, 150 points if you are currently in this position, 200 if you get through to the semifinals. To put that into context, Vitality are on 40. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big jump.
Yeah, you're not guaranteed anything in this format. There's only going to be 2 other events like this one to net points to qualify for that major event in Sweden. And seeing Vitality drop out in the Swiss stage, it should be a warning sign to everybody, except maybe BDS, but a warning sign to everybody else. Take nothing for granted. These points are so big. You're not only putting them on your own total, but you're taking them away from one of your biggest rivals, Semper and Dig, in that conversation to get top 5. You need this win if you're going to start the season in that top 5 instead of on the outside looking in.
You can't wait for your next chance. This could very well be your best chance to get as many points as you possibly can. But for right now, it's all about the European Open. What a save! 2 players needed. Champions Field starting off exactly how we expect it. Both teams looking for their chances. Chaussette with Cassio up in support. Chaussette, though, using the threat of the infield. Just baits out the player, gets himself a little bit more territory. Now Chaussette with a demo. Can he find another player? He almost got him. Jorius just escapes from another hit, but Chaussette, he is looking very angry in the offense.
Archie as well. He's just stolen the boost away from Dig. He wants to keep the ball in this position as long as possible so that there's no time for Dignitas to nip around the field and pick up those 12 pads. Still,
Chaussette has not been to his own side of the field yet.
No, they don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. I feel like this game is all about, being as aggressive as possible when you're attacking, but keeping it simple in defense. I don't want to see anything fancy from these teams in defense when there have been this many misplays and this many awkward positions throughout the previous 6 games that we've seen. Dignitas have kept it simple for now. Semper, meanwhile, haven't had to do any defending at all, pretty much. Now they do, and straight away, they get a clear ball out to the midfield. Chaussette going to continue and get the ball past the second player. Abjak not quick to this one, but quick enough as he turns around and gets an air dribble out to the midfield.
I think Chaussette wants to be the main player on this field right now. He has been all over the place for the opening 2 minutes. Now Cassio with his own opportunity. Flip reset! He gets the dunk! And he's got the first goal!
Oh, there's far too much space for Cassio. Jory is faking a challenge. He's got to go there. He's got to make a move to give his teammates behind him time to react. He doesn't move. Cassio's the one to make a move. And it's Semper who continue to pressure and get a goal in the first 2 minutes. Now, are they going to do what they did in the last game? Continue to attack. Keep putting Dignitas on the back foot. Dignitas do not look comfortable on the back foot today. That's what Semper should be doing. But it's very easy to just get comfy on a 1-goal lead, especially in a Game 7. Let's see what Semper decide to go for.
And it's important to note, Dignitas did not use the timeout. They wanted to get right in here as quickly as possible, despite being on 2 games in a row lost. Jorius, can he pinch that over to a teammate? Chaussette times it well. Scrub Killer goes looking for another player, but Chaussette's ability to continue the play on means that won't matter for too much. This might, though. Jorius to himself. That's in.
Abjack's pass could not have been better. On the turn, lobs it out to Jorius, but more than that, he faked a backboard touch. He's lining up as if he's going to hit that towards the backboard. All of SMPR turn that way, only to realize to their horror they've got Jorius on the infield, ready to receive the pass, and Jorius is not going to miss from there. That's a routine finish for him. Already SMPR back in attack after the kickoff. Chaussette stopped short by Scrub. Jorius muscles a 50-50 through. This is difficult for Scrub. Can he read this one? Yes, he can.
He needed to as well, because Castillo looked like he had the read. Jorius to the midfield. Castillo outpaces Scrub. He's also got Archie over for him. He might just go by himself. He's got another block. He's got another goal.
What is Castillo made of? Another dunk. But after a clean outplay, not 1 but 2, this time going straight through Abjack, who's been crushing 50s all series long. But that's all on the ground. This isn't where Dignitas have been dominant. When it goes in the air, SMPR have been just so strong. They lead again, but now Jorius 1v1 with Archie. You'd back him, and he does spin it in. Jorius again putting one in for Dignitas, but that is why you want the 1v1 players in your team. You're always going to put your money on him. The flick isn't even that impressive, but Archie is expecting something to go high, and it goes over his shoulder to the right, 2-2.
This series has slowly been ramping up, but looks like the crescendo is going to be everything we wanted it to be. 2 each, 2 minutes left, and an opportunity to take on BDS in tomorrow's semi-final. Apparently, Jack, he's got the pace to get it past Castillo, and he almost did it in. Archie, what a save. The follow-up shot is good enough. Jorius is a hat-trick hero.
Oh, somebody help him out. Archie just needed some support in this one. That's so unfortunate. The pinch doesn't go further, and he had no boost to get to the second shot. It was just placed well enough by Jorius. Hat-trick hero in Game 7.
Well, Jorius started well. He dipped towards the middle, and he looks to be right back in it for this final game. He's still on the ball. He looks for a 4th. That's going to be just a little bit too high. For the first time, it's now SMPR trying to chase this game. Chaussette gets bumped. He still wants to take it. Players are backing off from it. Jorius, what a play.
My.
Reed's 3 steps ahead. He's even won the challenge after the fact. Nobody in the midfield, but Jorius is owning Champions Field.
Yeah, more monstrous 50s by Jorius, but hang on. Here's Archie. Now infield, can Castillo get there? Abjack, ball chases on the recovery, keeps his eye on the play. That's massive. If he'd left that to go for boost somewhere, free shot for Castillo. But no such luck for SMPR. Dignitas known for their ball chasing skill. Just over a minute left for SMPR as we settle in to midfield play once again. This is where most of their goals have come from. Dignitas have all backed up into a corner here. They're defending as a unit. They're defending as a team. It's not going to be easy for SMPR, but Archie's done well there to land on a shot. Now Chaussette 1v1. Scrub Killer gets it high over the bar. And now can Abjack reach it? Yes, he can. Dignitas continue to follow up on each other's defensive touches.
There was 2 players there, but unfortunately the pace of the ball just meant that they couldn't send for the demo. 30 seconds now. Archie back to himself. He's got Chaussette far side. What a read! Dignitas are doing so well at knowing when to turn around. Now to Chaussette. He wants to go back to Cassie, who did find the boost. Cassie got the angle! Oh, what a defensive play! 16 seconds.
That was on from Castillo. Unbelievable save. It's not over yet. Archie now with half a chance. He's denied. Castillo's going to try and bump Scrub at defense. Scrub gets away from him. That might be the game for Dig.
Scrub back over to Jack to finish it. It's all the work to do for Castillo. He's got to go the whole length of the field. They cannot do it. Dignitas have won the war.
Wow, Dignitas advanced in stunning fashion. What a series, what a game. And it was Jorius with a hat trick. After a shaky performance overall, he clutched it, equalized with a double tap. Wow. We know we saw Archie missing a similar shot in the last game. Jorius scores it in Game 7 with great placement. And Dignitas did defend well here. That save at the end of the closing stages was unbelievable because Castillo's read off the corner wall. Wow. What
Look at these goals. This... I'm glad we got this in Game 7, but I'm also kind of mad that we didn't get a full series of this. This is the sort of level that we know these players can be at, and Dignitas have got it off the hat trick from Jorius. Good luck to anyone out there that wants to try and make a summary of what this series was like. That's going to require just 10 pages in itself. But I'll tell you what, SMPR, they'll be disappointed with this, but for Dignitas, they've got those 50 extra points. They put themselves up for 200 with a chance to earn even more. Tomorrow, they've got BDS.
Yeah, this is definitely worrying for SMPR out in the quarters. They've got some points on the board. They're going to be fifth equal, but they should have had more here. If you look at the series as a whole, I think overall they were the better team for more of it, but Dignitas hung on and they did clutch, the big moments. They played actually their best game in Game 7 when the pressure climaxed. So, great win there for Dig. Huge in terms of the overall standings. The SMPR, that one's going to hurt for a while. I think they need to sleep on it.
Well, we do now know what our first semifinal will be, but after the break, we're going to start figuring out what the second one is going to look like. Because when we are here, it's going to be Endpoint versus Misfits.